Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. Thank you for taking part in my last video, which was the Q&A. I had really fun answering the questions and kind of just exploring some of the questions that were asked to me. It had me really think, and I really appreciate that. So this kind of journal entry it's not gonna be all over the place. It's mostly gonna be me kind of actually answering a question and then just kind of like having my thoughts, kind of processing everything and looking back and kind of just seeing how I feel now. So this is actually related to my book, and I have talked about it on here before, but yeah. Wow, this is a great start, Jess. So I'm kind of tired. So this person who sent me a message on Instagram read my book, so thank you. I appreciate that you've purchased and supported me. Read the chapter where I I hit a real low point in my kind of journey through high school, and nobody was listening to when I was asking for help. Nobody really gave a shit, basically. And for those who haven't purchased the book, I'll just explain it. We basically, in my English class, every day we had to write a journal entry. Basically just talk about our feelings, just talk about, what was going on in our lives, just a topic. Pick a topic and then write about it. And then we would get a mark for it. And I have to say, this was my lifeline, for a lot of things in high school, and I really, really appreciate my English teacher for putting up with not drama. I mean, yeah, it was kind of drama, but just like my emotional state and my feelings and my confusion and my hurt. And, he, saw through a lot. It was kind of like I said, my lifeline, gave me a little bit of like, I don't know, hope that somebody was listening, and it just got really dark, the school wasn't listening to me for help. Nobody that saw what was going on said something, didn't support it. They made it worse. Not even my closest friends back then knew what was happening, or didn't ask questions, or didn't care. And I just got to a low point, and I wrote about potentially ending my life. And I submitted this. I don't know what drove me to it. I think it was just the point of me. I was kind of explained it in the book, but it's just like I didn't really give a shit anymore. It just got to the point where I was just so done. It wasn't a cry for help. It wasn't to get attention. It was just that low, dark point where I just didn't see a way out. And I submitted it. And my English teacher read it and right away reported it to the office. And he told that to me. He said that he had to report it, that, this was serious, and I kind of laughed it off. And I said, nobody's going to take it seriously. Nobody's going to give a damn. And I remember his facial expression. It was confusion and kind of like disbelief, like, really. And I said, yeah, I mean, do what you have to do. I get it, but nothing's gonna change. Like, whatever. Um, and I remember him asking me, like, are you okay? And I said, I don't know. And a few days later, I got called to the office. Actually, I got pulled out of that English class. And the question that was submitted to me over social media was basically like, because I wrote about my thoughts and feelings that, that once I got to the office, that I kind of had that like glimmer of hope that they actually would help me, that they would actually take what was happening to me more seriously. And the question that I got was like, how did I kind of just like burden myself with the outcome of this? It was tough. So the outcome basically was that the school thought I was asking for attention, that I was being very dramatic. And I honestly wasn't shocked. I was pretty numb. You know, they were saying that I needed to stop looking for attention, that I was creating this problem for myself, that this is what got me into trouble. This is what got me the attention from my abusers, that, you know, basically I needed to stop writing this garbage. And stop looking for attention. And it weighed on me, guys. I was numb. I was really numb at this point, but I honestly was like, okay, whatever. And I remember going back to my English class, and honestly, I think my English teacher thought I was going to be pulled out, like they were going to take this seriously. And when he saw me walk back into class like 15 minutes later, he kind of just looked at me, and I just went back to my desk, put in my headphones, and did my work. I was just so, I don't know. I was angry. I have to admit, like I didn't know how to handle it. Um, it was just a whole bunch of emotions. And the kicker was, I also wrote this in my book too. It was a few weeks later, that this whole, like, it was a whole, like, a few chapters in my book, but going back and forth, but I had prom, and I almost didn't get invited. Like, I didn't almost get invited to go because of my bad behavior, and I had to get papers signed by each of my teachers for, like, I think it was a month, of, like, me going to class and participating, and like they literally had to sign off every single day in order for me to go to prom. Okay. Do you know how degrading that is? To know you didn't fuck up, to know that you weren't doing anything bad. You know, I always showed up to class. I mean, occasionally, like, I would skip classes or I would be suspended because of my abusers. And I had to get my paper signed. Nobody else did. I did. And some of the teachers made it known too. It wasn't like this like secret thing. Like I would just go like once everybody like left, I would just slide my paper to the desk and the teacher would sign it. Like some of these teachers would fucking make it known in my class that you know, that I had to get this paper signed. Like they would tell the class like, oh, make sure Jess participates, or make sure Jess does this because she has to get a paper signed or she won't be able to go to prom, type of thing. It was degrading. Like it was not a healthy environment. And the kicker was, after this paper signing, they sent us to counseling. Well, sent me to counseling with my ex. They basically sat us down in a room with a teacher, and we had to talk about our feelings. We had to put on this like persona, like, oh, after this therapy session, everything's gonna be good and you guys are gonna be friends, okay? Everything is gonna be fine. We just need to clear the air. Um, and I remember I wrote about this in my book, like, just I was done. I laid everything the fuck out. And I didn't get really, really loud, but it was like I got angry. And like this room was attached to another room. And the teacher from the other room came storming in and was looking at me and pointing to me. I was saying, stop talking about this shit. That's very inappropriate. Mind your manners. Teaching a class. And she like walked out and slammed the door. And I was like, I'm talking about being raped. I literally said that. I wasn't holding any bars. And that teacher was just like, mind your manners. And the teacher who was doing this whole group session, basically session, was just like, now, we don't use that word. You probably misunderstood some actions because you might like it rough in the sack. I was just so PO'd. Like, so pissed. Like, really? You're really gonna degrade somebody that way and just shove it off? Like, I'm literally saying the R word and saying, like, this is like, I need help. And they're literally saying, you probably misunderstood it because you like it rough in the sack. I was just so pissed. I literally stormed out of the room. Or there's another time, and I'm gonna explain why I'm sharing all these stories. And just kind of talking about that burden. Again, I wrote this in my book and I've talked about this before, but when I was in, one of my communication classes, I did all the work, so I was sitting at my desk just writing, because you know me, I'm a writer, so I just, getting lost in my own story, and a group of my abusers came in, and the teacher was there, and they weren't supposed to be in there, we weren't supposed to have contact with each other, and they literally said, oh, look boys, the cunt's still alive, guess we have to try harder. Right when the teacher was next to them, and she started laughing. And I mean laughing. And I stood up, I was like, aren't you gonna do something? And she's like, oh, boys will be boys. I packed my shit up and I left that class so fucking fast. So fast. I was gone. I was so livid. And, I honestly, writing this book, lifted that burden, to be honest. Sorry, my thing keeps tilting, so kind of, I don't know, bad angles, guys. Oh, okay, we're gonna fall. Never mind. Okay, I'm not gonna move. That burden of kind of feeling like I was the fuck up, that it was my fault, that there had to be something wrong with me. There was no way that the principal, VP, police officers at one point, I did a video about that, but I'll probably do another video about it, going into more details about that, because that was a fucked up situation too. And just like nobody was helping. And just having that burden, like, maybe I am the fuck up. Maybe I should kill myself. Maybe I should just rid the world of my whatever bad juju or whatever it was. Because it's just like, no matter how hard I screamed, nobody was helping. Nobody was listening. Nobody gave a shit. Even my best friend didn't really give a shit. Like, they helped me occasionally, and I'm forever grateful for that. But, they didn't take it seriously enough to ask. To wonder why, I was being suspended, or why I was wearing long sleeve shirts in fucking 30-degree weather, to, not to ask questions. And I get it. Young teenagers, dumb and stupid, not mature. And I get that. And I mean, it is what it is. But I am frustrated still about that and angry about that a little bit. That, even the people closest to me didn't care enough to ask or didn't want to see it. Either way, right? It's just, and I'm not talking about my family, I'm talking about like those around me, besides family. Because I got good at hiding this shit, and plus, the school was telling my family what a fuck up I was, and, disappointment and stuff. That was the favorite word to call me, that I was a disappointment to my family. That's what the principal and VP used to say to me. I was a disappointment. I was a disgraceful daughter. That was great. That was, my daily dose of that. I literally got that daily, but hey, here we are. And it's just like, I don't know, the burden that I carried for so long, I didn't realize that I was doing it in my everyday life too, even after, sorry, I've got thumb in the camera, even after, high school and all that stuff, like, that whole pressure of not to be a fuck up. That I had to be the perfect daughter, that I had to be the perfect sister, I had to do everybody proud. And that is what I did for so long after high school. I went to college, I did courses, I did everything in my power to, I guess, make up for being that, or having that burden of like, I had to be good, and it ate me alive. And, even recently, I would say in the last year, I've actually let this go a little bit. Even in the past few months, I've actually let it go more. And what I mean is, like, when I got this job that I'm doing now, that it can be a struggle and challenging, but I do enjoy working with animals. I walked in, and the team that I'm working with seemed like such a unit. I didn't want to be the fuck up, right? So it's like I always pressured myself to be good. I had to do better. I had to not disappoint anybody. And then I was like, Jess, I had to talk with myself. I was like, Jess, you are new to this job. You're going to make mistakes. You're not going to be as good as these people that have been doing this for 6+ years. They started off with where you were. Just remember that. And I kind of relaxed more, because I was just driven by anxiety going to work every day. Because I just didn't want to let anybody down. I just didn't want to be this, I didn't want to be a burden to anybody, right? I didn't want to let the team down. And once I kind of like let that go and like relaxed more into the job, my self-esteem went up. My empowerment to myself went up. Like, instead of being like, hey, you're a fuck up, you gotta work faster, come on, like, stop fucking up. And I let that go, and I was like, when I talk to myself now, when I'm at work, like, in my head, I'll be like, hey, good job, Jess, yeah, you could have done a little bit better, but walk it off, it's fine, whatever. Somebody yells at you, that wasn't your fault, be like, hey, yeah, okay, whatever. Wasn't your fault. Like, I do more self-love and self-encouragement. I tend to put 150% into everything, just to not be that burden to, like, have to be the best. And the whole thing is, it doesn't, like, I can't, I have to let that go a little bit, and I have to stop putting that pressure on myself. And that all leads back to what we've talked about for the past few videos, is being something I'm not. And having that burden and carrying that weight with me of, always, people always see you as the fuck up or whatever. Now that I'm not saying that I'm perfect, I still have that burden, right? But now that I've learned to let that go and kind of relaxed. And it has especially helped since I released this book. I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of like relaxed a little bit. The anxiety isn't as strong. I'm empowering myself, I'm doing a lot of self-love and self-encouragement, and it's better. Like, I find that I am happier, that I am, coming out of my shell, that I'm not this constant ball of anxiety. That, yeah, I'm not going to be perfect. I am going to make mistakes. I am going to not do things in a way that everybody else is. I'm going to find what suits me. And that might look differently, and that is okay. I don't have to be this robot. I don't have to be this perfect person for everybody. And I'm finding that I don't have to carry the world on my shoulders, and letting that go, that burden go of, all of that kind of hatred and like, that constant, like, I'm a fuck up type thing, that I'm a disappointment, that, just letting that go. I don't even know it. It has been so, like, I can breathe. And I'm sorry, there was something floating, like dust or fluff or something, and I'm sorry. I just see it across the screen occasionally. Sorry, ADD brain. It's just been absolutely amazing. I am sleeping a lot better. I am, I'm being me, and it has been so amazing. It has been so amazing, and I am smiling and laughing and enjoying life more. I am being me, and if people don't like that, well, I'm sorry, but this is me. I am not going to bend over backwards just to please somebody. I am not going to be somebody. I'm not just for somebody. If they can't love me for me, then they aren't right for my life. They're not healthy for my life. And I'm finding a lot of that goes for relationships with either family or friends or, significant others. I've always bent over backwards to please everybody. And I can't do that anymore. It's not healthy for me. And it's kind of funny, every so often, like when I'm kind of like self-doubting myself, I pick up my book that I wrote and I read a chapter or two, or I read my aunt's chapter, and I kind of uplift myself a little bit. Even though it's a, dark and twisted book, it reminds me that just let it go. Let that burden go. Let all that self-doubt that you have for yourself, let it go. Again, it's not always easy. It's not every day, I wake up and be like, woohoo, I'm an amazing human being. No, there's some days, I don't want to get out of bed, that I'm, I am crippled by anxiety, but I breathe through it and I take one step at a time, and it's something that I'm going to work on every single day of my life. But I just have to constantly remind myself, just let that burden go. And again, it's not always easy. And I'm going to be working on it. But here we are. I am becoming this strong lady, woman, person that I always dreamed of myself being. And it's a work in progress. It is always going to be that. And yeah, I have lost people in my life. It's, I'm changing for the better, I think. And it's just all about letting that burden go. And I'm, working on it. And it's great. And I just want to appreciate all of you guys for coming on this amazing journey with me. It's, highs and lows, people. It's, again, not every day is rainbows and butterflies and unicorns. Some days it's dark and twisted, but, learning to balance all of that. It's a journey, and I appreciate each and every one of you that is coming along on this journey. And I love doing these sit-down kind of journal entries of just kind of expressing what's on my mind, what I'm feeling, what I'm processing, what I'm working on. It's, I find that people can relate to it or just listen and be like, hey, you seem human. It's not, cut and paste together. This is here and now, and I'm not all dressed up. I'm usually in my pajamas. I apologize, guys. I'm usually in my pajamas. I am, it's usually really late at night or odd hours of the day, or it's, in my basement or in my room, just safe places for me, and I'm loving it. I don't know. I'm excited for what's to come, and I appreciate you guys there being on my good days and my bad days. But with that, guys, I'm going to end this here. I appreciate you joining in, sending my love to all of you. Remember, never give up, always keep fighting. You're enough, and you are very much loved. Until the next video, guys, stay safe. And I am working on a true crime video, so hopefully that's coming in the next few days, or at least a week-ish. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. I'm excited to get back to some true crime videos. Yes, okay. I'll catch you in the next one, guys.